Hi guys! So as you can see, this has happened. I really have no good justification for buying a 2017 Moleskine Daily Planner, but I've had one over the last few years, almost every year, and I just couldn't quite imagine life without one. So this is the large, which is like kind of almost A5, but a little bit narrower, and it's the day per page planner. Moleskine has quite a few different layouts, mostly weekly, but I really like this daily planner. I used one of these as my only planner, if you can imagine that, in 2014. And then I had one again last year, which I used for a variety of different things. So one thing that I really like about them is that they're available in a range of different colors, and the colors change every year. So this year they have this really beautiful, like kind of teal blue. They also have a green, and they have a kind of like grape purpley color, lots of beautiful colors. So let me just show you in terms of sizing. This is my Leuchtturm A5 planner, and this is a true A5. So you can just see, if I put them next to each other, try not to knock my tea over, they're the same height, but the Moleskine is a bit narrower. So it's not actually A5, but it's kind of close enough for most intents and purposes. And they come in hardback and softback. I think that there's a wider range of colors available in the hardback, and I really like the hardback because it just has such a nice, chunky, satisfying feel to it. I've had the softback version before, and that's good as well, but you just can't beat a nice hardback. It just feels like a satisfying hardback book, and look how chunky it is. I think this is one of the main things that really appeals to me about the daily planner, is that it's 400 pages, and it just feels so satisfying in the hand. So as usual, it has the Moleskine elastic. This is what it looks like on the side. There are no markings, no labels on the side. And then on the back it says Moleskine here, and it's got the elastic fixture. So let's open it up. So on the inside, it has this little Moleskine logo, and then it says, "In case of loss, please return to," and as a reward. I kind of wish that they would just leave this page blank. I think a lot of us planner addicts feel the same. We don't fill these in, but there you are. It seems to be quite a popular thing to do. Then it says Moleskine Diary 2017, and I really like their font. I think that's one of the other main things that appeals to me about Moleskines is the font. I just like, well, the font and also the color. It's this like kind of not quite black. It's a little bit gray. I'm not sure how well it's coming up on camera, but it's a very, very nice font. Then you have this page for personal data, which I also always leave blank. It's lined. And then you have a year per page, 2017 and 2018. This is a 2017 planner, by the way, so it starts on the 1st of January because it's a daily planner. It goes from the first day of the year to the last day of the year. So I think this is a really nice layout. I actually never used this for anything when I was using this planner as my main planner, but it's just kind of nice to have it there to consult. And then you get a month per page spread. So this is kind of a funny one because I think most of us are used to the month on two page spread, whereas this is a month on one page, so you get January and February here. So it takes up less space, but the boxes are also quite small. And I'm not really sure how much you could do with this. I think that it would be best suited for tracking. You could fit in some codes or tick boxes or something in here, but I don't think that you could really use this very well for actually planning out your month like I do now in my Hobonichi when the month on two pages, because the boxes are just that much smaller. If you imagine this is a little bit narrower than A5, and if you think that the Hobonichi cousin is a true A5 and you have a month on two pages, this is like less than half of that. You do get some notes space at the bottom though, which I think is nice. So it's a Monday start, which I really like. And it also gives you the week number. So here you can see this is the first week of January, but the January 1st is a Sunday. So then you have, that's week 52, and then this is week 1 starting on the 2nd of January. So that's quite nice. It also labels the moon phases, which I don't pay attention to myself, but I think that is quite a popular thing that a lot of planner people like. And so this goes through the rest of the year until December 2017. So something which I think is a shame is that the layout has been changed from when I used this as my main planner. It was also changed last year. So in 2014 and 2015, I believe, they had this really cool spread that was a vertical monthly spread. So it had four months per 2 pages, and it had that instead of these boxes, which apparently this is actually an older layout, and people were upset when this was replaced by this one, and then eventually they brought this one back. But what was really nice about this is that it not only did it have the current year, so this was 2014, so it had the 2014 spread, but then it also had the following year. So you can see here it had all of 2015, which was perfect for forward planning, because if you had events coming up quite a bit in the future, you could plan for the whole of the following year in this very compact space, and then transfer it over to your new planner when the time came. And it doesn't have that anymore, which I think is a shame, because that was something that, as far as I know, was unique to the Moleskine. I've never seen it in anything else, and I really liked that feature. Then you have a spread which is new. I don't remember this from last year. It could be that it was there, but I really don't think it was. International Holidays 2017. So it's got the months going down vertically on both sides, and then it has a range of different countries from Argentina and Austria to the United Kingdom and the USA. And then you go down the list and it tells you which days are public holidays in that country. And this is interesting, because this is something that Leuchtturm has had for quite a while. So you can see here, this is the Leuchtturm version of it. So it seems like Moleskine is now incorporating that, which I think is quite a nice feature to have. Then you get the traditional Moleskine time zones, and I kind of like this. It makes me feel nostalgic for the time when I was using this as my main planner. I've said before, I don't actually personally find this spread very useful. I did used to use it to mark out places where I was going to travel for conferences, just so that I could get sort of a visual picture of it. I didn't use it to consult the time zones, but I kind of think it's nice having a map, although not strictly necessary, but it's pretty. Then you have this double page spread of travels. So you could really use this for anything. It says destination / itinerary, date, essential bibliography or notes. And then it's got the same thing here, except that it says just notes instead of essential bibliography and notes. But you could use this for all kinds of lists. So I think that this is quite a useful page. I sort of wish that they didn't put the headings at the top, so that you could just use this as anything that you wanted it for, but you can obviously still do that anyway if you just ignore the headings. I always used to do that. Then you get flight durations, and again, I would prefer just to have lined notes pages here, because I sort of feel like, personally, if I'm going on a flight, it usually, you can see when you buy the ticket how long the flight is. But I know, I think some people have commented before on my previous Moleskine videos that they like having this, so and then you have international dialing codes, which again, like wouldn't personally use this, so I would just rather have the notes pages, but I know that some people do. And then you have measurements, and so conversions, temperature conversions and size conversions for various types of things like shoes, jeans, clothes, other types of clothes. And then you have this little ruler, which I think is a nice feature that you don't get in other planners that I know of. And then you have a blank page here, and it's got a little legend. So they've added holidays back into the planner itself, and I'll show you when we get into the actual pages. For the last few years at least, they haven't had any holidays in the planner. That seemed to be their policy, and they were like, if you want to know when holidays are in different countries, you can go to the website and download them, but that sort of defeats the point. It's much nicer having them in the planner, I think. And so now they seem to have reversed that decision, and they've gone back and put the holidays in the planner, which I think is nice. And so it's got a little legend here for the different symbols that they have. So they have public holiday, new moon, different moon phases, basically, weather and temperature. So this is kind of like a little dashboard introducing you to the planner itself. And then you have the first spread. So like I said, this is 1 day per page. So it starts on Sunday, January 1st, and then it has this little public holiday legend here, and it has a whole bunch of countries where obviously January 1st is a holiday. So you can see with this double page spread the difference between Sunday and the weekdays. So this is Monday, and you get times. So let me see if I can hold it up, if you can see them. It's probably not going to focus enough, but it starts at 8 a.m. and then you have a line every half hour. And these are quite sizable lines. I'm comparing this now to the Hobonichi, which has, you know, much smaller grids. So you can write pretty big in these lines. So you have a line per half hour. It doesn't mark the half hour, but it has 8 and then a blank line and then 9. So you know, it does have room for a different appointment every half hour. And then it goes all the way down until 8 p.m. and then you've got 2 blank lines. So really it goes until 9 p.m., which always bugs me because I would prefer it to be a longer timeline. And this is one of the things that sort of caused me to switch over from Moleskine to Hobonichi, is that the Hobonichi just has a much longer timeline. And for me, it wasn't the morning that was the problem, because I hate mornings and I, you know, never do anything early in the morning if I can avoid it. But it was the nighttime, stopping it at 8 or 9. So it's okay. It's not like the end of the world, but I just now am kind of addicted to the really long timeline for work planning. But as a sort of general overall thing, I think it's okay. And then you have these 2 lines at the bottom. This says weather and this is temperature. So obviously, if you don't care about marking the temperature or the weather, or, you know, you don't need a whole line for that, you could just extend your timeline a bit and you could make it go until 10 p.m. and even 11 here down at the bottom, because you've got this kind of extra line here. And then it lists the week number at the bottom here. So the difference between Sunday and the weekdays is that, as you can see, Sunday is exactly the same, except it doesn't have the timeline. Now, the fact that Sunday has its own spread and is not split with Saturday, which you can see if I just skim forward a bit. So we've got Friday, and then we have Saturday, and then we have Sunday. The fact that Saturday and Sunday are not split, you know, are not shared, is really one of the biggest selling points for this planner for me, as opposed to the other similar day per page planners. So I looked at the Leuchtturm daily planner because I like Leuchtturms, and I also looked at the Paper Blanks daily planner because they have one too. And, you know, if you know me, you know that I love Paper Blanks, and they're my favorite brand really of this type of bound planner, because they have the beautiful covers and they have nice paper quality and really beautiful designs. But both of those daily planners have a shared Saturday and Sunday, and that just irks me no end. So that was why I went with the Moleskine, because it seems to be the only one of this type of planner that has a separate Saturday and Sunday. So I think the fact that Sunday doesn't have a timeline is a small price to pay, because everything else is exactly the same, and you can still, you know, see the numbers from the other side of the page. So if you wanted to use the timeline, you can. I don't know why they didn't put the timeline in. It seems to me that it wouldn't have hurt them, since everything else is exactly the same. It seems funny to me that, you know, they would just decide on Sunday nobody needs a timeline. But there you go. It's really a small thing. And so because this is a daily planner, you know, obviously you can't see the week, but it still does tell you at the bottom of the right-hand page what the week is. You don't get a little calendar or anything, but, you know, it gives you the week number. And it just goes through like this. So every page looks identical, except obviously the Sunday timeline, and then it lists the holidays. So you can see here, this is a holiday in Egypt, I think, and then this is a holiday in Australia, unless that's Austria, and India. So I think that's quite a nice addition that they've put in this year. And it goes on like that until the end of the year. So you have everything up to Sunday, December 31st. And then again, you know, because it's a daily planner, it just ends on the last day of the year. And then you have a few notes pages, just 4, so 2 sheets, which is not a huge amount, but, you know, it's enough that you can keep note of some kind of important reference things. And then you have this back page. So I didn't mention this at the beginning, but obviously this front page is thicker and then you have the same thing at the back, but it doesn't say anything on it. And then you have the traditional Moleskine pocket, which I really like because the like kind of cloth here in the gusset is the same shade as the cover. And a really cool feature, which is new for this year, is that so they've always included a couple of sheets of stickers, but the stickers this year are different than ones that I've seen in previous years. So first you have this alphabet sheet, which I love. It's got the whole alphabet, and then it has some exclamation marks, some question marks, some slashes, like forward slashes, and some ampersands. And then you have one with these little icons like light, alarm clock, video, knife and fork, a phone, a little rocket, which is cool. I'm not sure how often one would need to use that, but I like it. Some weather icons like birthday cakes, book, present. It's really, really useful. In fact, I think it would be nice if they sold these separately because they're quite useful icon stickers. And then you have some more here. You have crosses and ticks, smiley faces, sad faces, arrows, flags, dollar signs, little like kind of, map pins like Google Map symbols, hearts, thumbs up. Anyway, so I think that these are a really nice improvement on the stickers that they've had in previous years, and a like great little addition. They go in the pocket there, and that's it. So, oh yes, and then of course you also have a bookmark. So one difference between Moleskine planners and Leuchtturm planners is that the Leuchtturm planners give you 2 bookmarks, whereas for Moleskine you just get 1, which I personally think is okay, especially since this is quite a sort of day-focused planner, as in, all of the months are at the beginning. It's quite easy to find them. So I personally don't feel like it's really necessary to have a separate bookmark for the months, say. I think it's fine just having the one bookmark. And, I like how the bookmark matches the cover exactly. And I just think this is such a beautiful shade. It's coming up pretty true to life on camera. It's maybe a slight bit darker in real life, but it's more or less like this shade, and I just think it's lovely. So my only problem now is what to do with it, because I've already got my planner lineup for 2017 sorted out more or less, and so I'm having another planner addict dilemma, which I might share with you if I don't solve it in the next couple of days. But it's a really beautiful planner. I highly recommend it if you like nice, fat, chunky, hardback daily planners. So I hope that this was useful and that you enjoyed it. Please let me know if you have any questions. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!